You're doing everything you were told would work. You followed the path. You stayed disciplined. You did what was right. You went to school. You earned the degree. You found a stable job. You show up. You work hard. You pay your bills on time. You're not reckless with money. You're not making obviously bad decisions. You're not living beyond your means, at least not in a way that feels obvious. And yet, your savings don't reflect your effort. Your bank balance feels underwhelming. And the idea of retirement, it feels distant, almost unrealistic. Meanwhile, you see people earning the same as you, sometimes even less, buying property, traveling, investing confidently. And you can't help but ask yourself, what did they learn that you didn't? What did you miss? Here's the truth. Nothing is wrong with you. You weren't given the full picture because no one actually taught you how money works. Not properly. School taught you formulas you've never used, history you barely remember, essays you'll never write again. But it skipped the one subject that controls your daily life, money. So you learned late, through mistakes, through trial and error, often after it already cost you. This is what changes that. These are money lessons most people discover far too late. Some cost thousands, some cost decades, some quietly shape your entire future without you realizing it. You'll recognize yourself in some of these. That's not a bad thing. It means this matters. Let's get into it. Lesson 1. Your income is not your wealth. This is where most people get it wrong. You can earn a lot and still have nothing. And you can earn less and still build something meaningful. Income is what comes in. Wealth is what stays. Example, someone earning $3,000 every month but spending all of it builds nothing. Someone earning $1,500 but saving even $200 consistently builds momentum. The first person looks rich. The second person becomes rich. The difference is what they keep. Lesson 2. Compound interest is always working. It never stops. It never waits. The only question is it working for you or against you? When you invest, your money grows, and then that growth starts growing. Example, saving small amounts early, even $50 monthly, can turn into something significant over time. But debt works the same way, just in reverse. Borrow money at high interest and it grows faster than you expect. That small balance doesn't stay small. It multiplies. Every decision you make either builds momentum or builds pressure. Lesson 3. Time matters more than money. Not slightly more, massively more. Starting early beats starting big. Example, someone who invests small amounts consistently from a young age often ends up ahead of someone who starts later with bigger contributions, because time allows growth to stack, and stacking is everything. The longer your money has to grow, the less you need to force it. Lesson 4. The biggest expense in your life isn't visible. It's not rent. It's not food. It's not bills. It's missed opportunity. Money you could have grown, but didn't. Example, keeping money sitting idle for years instead of investing it doesn't just slow you down, it quietly sets you back. You lose growth, you lose time, and you never see it on a statement, which is exactly why it's so dangerous. Lesson 5. If you don't pay yourself first, no one will. Most people spend first and try to save what's left, but there's always something else to pay, something else to buy, and saving gets delayed. Again and again. Instead, take something first, even a small amount, and set it aside. Example, even setting aside $10 consistently builds a habit, and habits build outcomes. What's left becomes your limit, and your life adjusts. Lesson 6. Where your money sits matters. Not all money is working. Some of it is just waiting. Example, money sitting idle grows slowly, if at all. But money placed in the right environment grows over time. The difference isn't always obvious day to day, but over years, it's massive. Lesson 7. Debt doesn't feel dangerous until it is. It starts small, manageable, almost harmless, until it isn't. Example, A small unpaid balance grows quietly, and then, suddenly, it's not small anymore. What felt temporary becomes long-term, and what felt manageable becomes stressful. Lesson 8. Emergencies are not rare, they're guaranteed. The only unknown is when. Example, unexpected expenses happen, things break, situations change. Without preparation, those moments turn into setbacks. With preparation, they become manageable. Lesson 9. Not everything you buy is equal. Some grow, some drain. Example, something that holds or increases value builds your future. Something that loses value or requires constant spending slows it down. Knowing the difference changes everything. Lesson 10. Earning more doesn't automatically fix anything, because spending tends to grow with it. Example, more income often leads to more upgrades, and suddenly nothing changes, except the size of your expenses. Lesson 11. Big purchases carry long-term consequences, especially the ones that feel normal. Example, a monthly payment might feel manageable, but over time it adds up significantly. What feels small now can cost you future opportunities. Lesson 12. Small spending isn't harmless, it's invisible, and that's the problem. Example, daily habits don't feel expensive, but repeated over time, they become meaningful, not because of the amount, but because of the consistency. Lesson 13. Not all debt should be treated the same. Some costs more, some grows faster, and without a plan, it lingers longer than it should. Lesson 14. Your future self depends on your present decisions, not someday, right now. Every choice today either supports or delays your future stability, and those choices add up faster than you expect. Lesson 15. There are advantages available, but most people never use them, not because they don't exist, but because they don't know. And what you don't know, you don't use. Lesson 16. Investing doesn't need to be complicated. It needs to be consistent. Example, simple, steady actions over time outperform complicated, inconsistent ones, every time. Lesson 17. Protection matters, not for small problems, but for big ones. Example, planning for major risks prevents major setbacks. Ignoring them leaves you exposed. Lesson 18. Comparison is expensive, not financially, mentally, and eventually financially too. Example, trying to match someone else's lifestyle leads to decisions that don't match your reality, and that gap creates pressure. Lesson 19. Your ability to earn is your strongest asset, not your job, your skill. Example, improving what you can do increases what you can earn, and that impact lasts longer than any short-term gain. Lesson 20. Systems beat intention every time, because you won't always feel motivated, but systems don't rely on feelings, they just work. Lesson 21. It's not too late, but it's not early anymore either, and waiting longer only makes it harder. Example, starting now changes your direction, waiting delays it. That's the only difference. Here's what all of this comes down to. Most people aren't failing because they're careless. They're struggling because they were never taught. And what you don't understand, you can't optimize. But now you do. And that changes things. Because knowing isn't the same as doing. Understanding doesn't create results. Action does. Pick a few things. Start there. Not next month. Not later. Now. Because the moment you start is the moment things begin to change. And that decision is yours.